What's up, guys? I want to really quickly show you guys how I get like this type of metal patina, or I think it's called like antiquing effect, using Substance Painter. And so I have this cigarette case that I like sculpted in ZBrush. Ignore the UVs. It was just like I just needed a concept render, right? First, let's say you have your object and then UV unwrap it. I just did like smart UV project. It's not clean at all, but it doesn't matter. It's still gonna work for right now, right? But I do recommend having clean UVs. Then you need to attach a material to it and label it, because this will come in handy later in Substance Painter. And so I just added a material. There's no colors or anything. I just named it bottom and then named it top. And then you export it as a OBJ, FBX, whatever you want. Once you have your object UV unwrapped and assigned label materials, you want to go to Substance Painter and then you want to drag in the OBJ. So I have the OBJ right here. And I drag this in. My settings that I use, I'll normally just do 4K res and then normal format OpenGL, and then ASM PBR metallic roughness. Use UV tile workflow. You can. I don't auto unwrap it because it's already unwrapped in whatever program I do, and then I import it. Okay, so now we have the model in Substance Painter, and the reason why I added materials and labeled them is because in the texture set list, you can see the top and bottom, so you know which parts you're texturing. And it just makes it cleaner and easier to know what you're texturing. But I'll go to bake, so then Substance knows where to apply like all the depth and crevices and ridges and everything like that. So you go up here to bake. And then the settings that I use for baking is the output size. I'll normally do 4096. This depends on what like resolution you need your textures at. I'll go to normal. I'll go down this list. World space normal, no. ID, I'll do color source, mesh ID polygroup, and then color generator random. I'll do ambient occlusion, secondary rays maxed out. Self occlusion is only the same mesh name. And then curvature, I want to generate the curvature from the normal map. And then position, I think I leave that. Thickness, secondary rays, all the way max. Self occlusion, only same mesh name again. And then these settings apply to both of these. So then you just bake selected textures, and then we have to wait for this bake to end. Okay, so once the bake is done, you just return back to painting mode. So now the baking's done, and the two materials that I use is Rust Fine, and they're free on Substance, and Iron Rough. So once you download these, you could just open them and then it'll auto open Substance, and then you create like base. I think this one's like base color, and then they're both base color, I think, because they're not smart materials. So then you just search in Iron Rough. I'm gonna do the bottom part first, and I'll normally scroll down on the properties, and then I'll drag the roughness down, and then you can adjust this stuff later. And then I'll go to Rust Fine, and then I'll drag that on top, and then I'll turn the rust color black. Now, I don't even know if this is the best way to do this, but this is the way that I've been doing it. And I'm pretty sure there's a million better ways to get a better patina or like antiquing effect. But I'll make the rust color black, and then I'll add a black mask on top. And then you want to go to Smart Filter or Smart Mask and choose Cavity Rust. And you're going to drag Cavity Rust onto that black mask that you created. And then you'll see it'll read all the textures and it'll apply that black rust in the crevices, which is exactly like what patina or antiquing does. Because I think they apply that finish all over the metal and then they polish off just the top. So then only the crevices have that dark, like aged look. And then you can go into Mask Editor and you can just play with all the values until you see something that you like global balance if you want like less black or if you want more. And then you can go with the textures. So I'll normally just play with like a little bit less contrast, just so it's not like so sharp on the edges. I'll put the contrast down a little bit, mess with curvature. You literally just mess with all these values. Ambient occlusion, maybe something like that. You can adjust the lighting by holding shift and then right clicking and dragging. And so once you have, the look that you want on the model, this looks fine. You want to take both of these layers and you want to make them into a folder. And now you have, I don't know why I didn't add them to the folder, but you want to make sure that they're in the folder. You can call this like metal patina. and then you can right click the folder and create a smart material, and then the smart material will be right here. It'll auto import it to your smart materials folder, and then you can just go click on like this top piece and then drag that smart material onto the top piece, and it'll do the same exact thing. So once you have the look that you like, you're gonna go up to File and you're gonna click Export Textures, and you're gonna choose the folder that you want all the textures to go to. So I want them here, and then I changed the size. I'm gonna change the size to 4096, and then you go to Output Templates, and I'll normally choose PBR Metallic Roughness, and I'll switch the normal from, normally the normal is on DirectX, but I switched it to OpenGL. And then once the normal is OpenGL, settings are all good. I'll have the color map, roughness map, metallic, normal, height, and emissive. Then I'll just click export, and all the textures will export. This will be pretty fast. So once you have all the textures exported, they're gonna be separated by top and then bottom, which is what you originally labeled the materials as. And you can plug them in however you want. If it's on Maya, however you plug in textures on Maya. I'm gonna do this tutorial just for Blender and show you like a super fast way to import textures on Blender. So you have to make sure that you have Node Wrangler set up. And so you can go to Preferences, Add-ons, and make sure that Node Wrangler is turned on. Exit out of that. So you wanna click the part that you wanna texture, click on the principled BSDF, and then click Control-Shift-T, and it'll open up your File Explorer. Now just go to the folder that your textures are at, and then since that was the bottom, you want to just click and select all the bottom pieces, and then click Principled Texture Set, and all the textures will be plugged in. You can go over here. Let me add an HDRI so you guys can see. So now you guys can see all the textures applied to this, and then you just do the same thing for the top. So you go to Object, Textures, Control-Shift-T, select all the top parts, Principled Texture Set, and now that part's textured. So that's how I really quickly add like antiquing texture on Substance. And the results are pretty good, especially for like quick concepts of like, I really want to make this lighter, I want that feature, and then you can send it to a manufacturer and they know exactly what type of finish that you want. Or you're just like adding it into a scene and you want to make sure like you could see how fucked like the UVs are on my shit, but this doesn't matter, bro. The camera's gonna be like far, so it literally does not matter. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this wasn't like too long. I hope I didn't drag and yap, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.